Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to Omen Exitio Plague. Probably the last episode of this series. And it has been a really fun game to play. I was not expecting it to be I expected it to be fun, but I don't know. I wasn't expecting to get as involved in it as I was involved in the right word. As into it as I have, is this, ooh, I can't make up my mind, what's the best thing to do here and there. Really curious where the story goes because we have went a lot of places. When we went to Africa, I was like, the whole game's gonna be in Africa. Uh, but it wasn't. I was very wrong with that. It's been quite the globe trekker there. Though it was that weak point there in Holland. I was like, sport's a little bit I don't care, but or don't care that much, I should say. But yeah, it's been a really fun game so far. So let's see how it ends here. You're taken to what must be some kind of holding room, also hewn from the rock, but not for long before you're picked up again and led along a twisting, less artificial section of tunnel. Here the going is much trickier because the tunnel is almost pitch darkness and it twists illogically at certain points. Nonetheless, after a short time, you are led into the great hall, the temple of the cult of Hastalik. Ooh, creepy chanting. As you had expected, there are symbols everywhere, drawn or carved on rock, walls, columns, and even on many of the giant head sculptures scattered around the temple. Despite their size, the giant head statues look almost like mistakes or rejects from a sculptor, having hybrid, distorted, and unpleasant features. The temple is the temple works as an amplifier for some of the cultist dissonant chanting. Yeah, there's still some grammar mistakes in the game. I had to try to figure out what that meant exactly. In the center of the temple's huge symmetrical dome above you is a small circular opening to the sky. In the center of the temple, directly and precisely below the opening on the temple floor, is a circular pool of water exactly the same size, in which you can see the reflection of the night sky. In front of the pool, a cultist is waiting for you. You assume from the extra items of expensive-looking cloth that he must be a priest, or at least someone high up in the rank, who will probably see to the correct observances during the ritual. The man abandons his position and comes towards you. So, Dr. Huntington, we meet again. Is it Meyer? Okay, yeah. The voice and that accent are instantly familiar from the secret club and from before. Slowly he lowers his mask, uncovering his face and confirming your suspicion. It is Meyer. It was not so long ago that I was asking you to join us. For if I recall correctly, you were not especially convinced at the time. Okay, so Meyer wasn't one of the ones we killed in England then, or in London. Again, let's play it cool. We're gonna play it cool. When we have the time to act, we will do our best to act. Meyer remains unmoved. It's fast approaching time, Huntington, for you to know your pivotal role in our great plans. We know you are an altruist, but as a doctor, you must know full well that you can't save them all. For example, shall we talk about that child? What was his name? Ah, yes, Scott. You're not even able to save the life of your friend and Commander's only son. Oh, great. Let's go down memory road. You're dumbfounded. How could he know so much about your life? If nothing else, you managed to prevent another young boy from losing his life, or at least he struggled until the very end. Fuego had his fate sealed for him when you came to try to rescue him. Small consolation, but in any case, you are actually acutely aware of the trail of blood caused by your actions. Yeah, seriously, let's try to be like, hey, you're not gonna get to me. Whatever. Is torture part of the ritual? Now we know how determined you can be, Huntington. It is a pity that you must always that you have always been a step or two behind us, especially on the really important questions, as at the time of your wife Helen's illness. It's like an electric shock. What do you mean by this declaration? Could it be that the cult was somehow involved with the sickness and death of your wife? Okay, well we have an option here. So let's use it. Always one step ahead, always sure. Sometimes it's the best way not to notice what could be coming at you from behind. Or did you think I came here all by myself? That certainly gets the cultist's attention, and some even step unconsciously backwards. Has something else really escaped? Do you really have a mysterious ally of whom they are unaware? You smile, content with having broken their certainties. Mayer takes in the situation, his face consumed with seething anger. You fools! Can you not see that he is trying to plant the seed of doubt? Huntington, a lie will not be enough to save you now. Really, all he has to use against us is quick wits. But he has nothing else to use against us. I think I have something long and hard in my pants. It might get me out of there. Are you turning against us yet again? How dare you, after accepting money from us to pursue your research to eradicate diseases such as that which killed your wife? Meyer laughs and replaces his mask. But don't worry, none of that matters now. It is time. Two men drag you into the center of the chamber to the edge of the pool. Your legs give way momentarily. There's something inside, something seriously malevolent. You feel its vibrations. You can hear its silent calling inside your body. Okay, I'm not sure when I should spring into action. While the two men push you ever closer to the water, Meyer turns to his companions and the chanting begins rising to a crescendo. Then you spot the comet reflected in the small circle of living liquid in front of you. Nice. You muster all your remaining strength and swing your arms back in a jerking motion. Your motion contained enough momentum to unbalance the two cultists holding you. You waste no time and knee one in the face before he has a chance to stand up. Many others are upon you now. They grab and push you violently towards the pool. The comet is now completely filling the disc. Then Meyer approaches and turns your head to face his. You're face to face with the creepy smile of the ritual mask. Goodbye, Mr. Huntington. Meyer pushes your head into the water. Ooh, that's a good sound effect of drowning. You're unable to breathe. The water rapidly fills your mouth, throat, and lungs. You can feel it suffocating you, organ by organ, as if the water were a sentient entity moving inside you, looking for something. You can see the flare of the comet underwater, and you become aware of the immense and powerful energy swirling slowly around the pool. You know what just came to mind? I wonder what would happen if you were to not use your skills at all. At all, through the whole game. I'm actually curious. A violent ripple begins to form on the surface of the pool. You can feel the water inside your body vibrating too, screaming. It is moving like a living being. You cannot breathe. The comet is passing out of you in the reflection on the surface of the pool. The living water is still trying to force its way into your body to choke you. Then it suddenly retreats as if suddenly yanked away. You cough violently, gulping for oxygen. Around you there is only high-pitched vibrating and buzzing. The men and women of the cult are taken aback, stunned, watching the water disappear down the pool, writhing like a living liquid being hauled backwards. The water is literally dragged away downwards. For a moment, though, it seems to try to resist, like some kind of trapped animal trying to escape its fate. It seems to be trying to cling to the edges of the pool. And even to you, Meyer steps back and glares at you from behind his stone mask. How's it possible? You have beaten the disease. You have beaten Hastalic. Huh? You take full advantage of his astonishment, and thanks to a surge of anger, you find the strength to get a hold of him and pull him towards you. In his surprise, he has no time to react. He loses his balance and tumbles headlong into the now emptied pool. His shout resounds for some time before ending abruptly with the faint sound of crunching bones as his body hits the bottom of the pit. For the moment, your mind is filled with vivid images. It is Haslett, desperately trying to hold on to you in some way, but he is failing. You hear his voice resounding inside your skull. Although it is impossible for you to understand the exact meaning of his cries, the gist of it is clear to you. The god is screaming furious curses with all his dwindling might. Your union with Yidra accomplished its purpose. Your contact with the goddess has healed you, cured you of Haslick's infection. Finally freed from all traces of his dark contamination, you have lost the role of catalyst to the ritual and broken the delicate alchemical balance which would have made it effective. So, getting busy with Aita actually saved her life. A lot of times when you, having sex with someone you don't know, you don't know that well, you have more of a chance to catch something. But apparently this time it healed us from something. Rather than being released, Haslick has been banished back to the depths of the ocean, perhaps for perpetuity. A large outcrop of rock is cleaved off and comes crashing down onto the temple floor. It is followed by more smaller boulders. Without Haslick's power, the temple is weakening. See, some of the cultists head towards the precise point in the shadows, an opening. That's been the only way out, that hellish narrow tunnel from whence you entered this nightmare realm. Okay, so when did we get cured? Was it like in the conversation with her, or was it when we did it? Because the way he worded it a minute ago made me think it was when we did it, but he didn't lose the power until, yeah. Or maybe his power went away with the comet. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's chaos, shouts, collapsing rock, and cultists running panic-stricken in every direction. You aim for the direction of the tunnel, and not only to escape. You remember thinking that such an interest made access to the tunnel extremely difficult, but now you realize this excellent defense could now be turned against them. It could in fact be an opportunity to trap them all in the collapsing temple. As you progress, you feel your strength returning, and any last traces of the disease fall away, as happened to Haslick a moment ago. Yet only the presence of the disease and its attendant hallucinations can explain what you now see before you. You see the faces carved in the walls, moving their mouths as if speaking, as the rock of which they are made crumbles and collapses. As you see them scurrying, the cultists no longer appear human. They seem to have strange appendages growing out of their bodies and extending their limbs. With every second that passes, they become more and more like the creatures from your dream journey. Well, that's not good. While trying to stay away from the nasty creatures and find a way out, you catch sight of an odd bright line pointing, leading towards the tunnel, a sort of shining beam. Yeah, let's follow it. You decide to follow the strange luminous trail. Picking up your pace, you soon realize that this path allows you to move faster, helping you avoid both rock falls and running cultists. It could, however, merely be another hallucination. I'm assuming it's Yidra. In front of you in the corridor, there is a space, a niche. This could well be the opening to the tunnel which leads to the beach. You sneak inside, since this is the only way out of this underground temple. It might be the perfect opportunity to permanently destroy the cult of Haslick. Suddenly you realize that the streak of light does not follow the path of the tunnel, but rises and stops at a precise point on the walls. Looking carefully, you notice that the rock seems softer here. If it collapsed here, it would surely block any possibility of escape for all those left behind. How much experience do we have left? You attempt to strike that particular spot as hard as you can. There's a faint cracking noise in the rock. Looking up, you realize that the stones are being held up by a bulge in the rock. Perhaps it will not be possible to create a collapse after all. Dang. What if our fighting skill had to do with that? I was thinking, collapsing in was going to cause like a chase thing, and then I think we might need to use our agility, stuff like that to get out. Deciding to have faith in your hallucination, you lean back against the opposite wall and get ready to try kicking it. With one more very hard kick, you manage a slight movement of the rock and a small shower of stones. Then you hear voices. The cultists are escaping towards you. Well, our fighting skill is not good at all. I mean, I could bump it up to 20, 60. No, that wouldn't be enough. Yes! Achievement get, too. You continue kicking decisively. Once, twice, at third, the crack in the rock yields and many boulders fall, blocking off most of the tunnel and completely blocking the exit. Beyond the crashing rocks, you hear the anguished cries of the cultists, realizing that their attempts to escape are now futile. You move rapidly away from the collapse of the rock and through the tunnel. After a few meters, you come across a small group of cultists who had already entered the tunnel before you. The noise of the crash must have stopped them in their tracks. When they recognize you, however, their anger takes over and they prepare to attack. You see that just by them there is a rock protuberance that you could use as a step to jump past them. Agility. Oh crap, our agility is not that high. Oy. Crap. Dang it! In desperation, you muster all your remaining energy and use the rock protuberance as a foothold to leap over the man. Alas, your movements and coordination are imprecise, and you collide with the first of the cultists. Your collision sends him straight to the ground, but you too fall painfully against the rocks. The cultist starts getting to his feet, and you can hear the others gathering behind you. They pounce on you and slam your body violently against the rock wall. Their gleaming eyes betray their rage and desire for revenge. One looks back towards the tunnel, as if expecting more survivors, when suddenly something like thunder shakes the earth. The temple of Hastlik has finally collapsed. One of the men kicks you viciously in the head, then runs off with the others. You struggle to get up, but your body is racked with numbing pain. Well, I was going to say if we lost, I was going to reload that last one. You start having difficulty breathing, and your vision clouds over. You have been deceived, manipulated from the start, a mere puppet in the hands of the cultists and divine beings. On the other hand, most of the cult members died under rock when the Temple of Hastlik collapsed. Some of them managed to escape, however, and they may then spread the disease. You will like to believe otherwise, but you suspect that the survivors may try to take revenge by releasing another horrible pestilence. You smile at the bitter consolation. You will not live to see the effects of any such hypothetical violent revenge. It is hard enough for you to even think of tomorrow. Now, Yolarthel, Yidra, Azathoth, Hastlik is not the only threat after all. There are probably other cults too, one for each of these unmentionable entities. As your breathing becomes more and more labored, you feel your life slowly slipping away. Watching the tail of the comet fading from the sky, you wonder who will be next to try and overpower humanity, to take possession of the world which J. Huntington was able to save, this time at least. Well, Jake Huntington is a name known to a very small number of people. There is no trace of him in history, yet the world mourns the countless victims of a terrible plague. It became known as Spanish flu. Here rests a good friend and lies an eldritch truth. Death is only a shadow across the path to heaven. Although it is true that Jake Huntington's efforts and studies certainly prevented far worse consequences than happened in war, for example, yet some of the cultists must have managed to escape before the collapse of the temple. It is not known whether it was an act of revenge or of war, but the Zanzibar disease was modified. Other strains were developed, studied, and then released into the world. The cult of Hafslik was likely defeated, but the consequences were still disastrous. Oh shit, well, lovely. Millions upon millions of deaths. Furthermore, in addition to learning of their existence and of the disease, Jake made other, more disturbing discoveries, encountering beings such as Nyarlathotep and Ydra. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for admitting they're unpronounceable. That I'm not doing a bad job. Thanks, game. Being with unpronounceable names, waiting in the dark, ready to seize and take possession of the world and its inhabitants. Who, for example, is this Azathoth, served by both of these gods, albeit in very different ways? Jake Huntington would never know, but it is likely that someone else will one day encounter one of these terrible and frightening ancestral creatures. And when that happens, whether they are able to face up to them and triumph, or whether they will succumb, as happened to the good doctor, only destiny will decide. Excellent game. No music to go along with the credits. Very good game. Very, very good game. Yeah. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to have to play it again. Again, not going to be on camera. You know, this is the end of the series, episode 18. End of Omen Exitio, Plague. But yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I don't know if there's an ending where you live or not. But maybe. I mean, I did fail that last thing. The very last thing with agility, dang it. But yeah, I could have gotten more experience throughout the game if I hadn't missed any skill checks, which I know I missed. I missed a handful towards the beginning before I really before I figured out, you know, what I was doing, you know. Yeah, when I started, you know, saving up the skill points and using them when I needed them, I started doing better. But started not failing them. But there was still experience that I could have gotten, you know, that I missed like early on, and then later when I didn't have the experience anyway. So yeah, awesome game though, freaking awesome game. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, definitely gonna have to play this again. But anyway, yeah, that is it. Oh man, I did get one more achievement, didn't I? I glanced at the achievements right before I started recording that last episode. 53% of the achievements. Last achievement I got was gave your own life to prevent the cult from awakening the ancient. Was that the only achievement I got in that one? No, I followed the light. That was the other achievement. Okay. I was thinking if I had only gotten one more achievement, it'd be, you know, kind of cool that I got like just over half the achievements, but I got 53%, so slightly better than half of them. Slightly better than over half. But yeah, don't really know too much more to say. If you like the video, if you like the series, feel free to like the video. It helps out a lot. Let me know what you thought. Where do you think I went wrong to survive? Obviously, you know, if I had more agility, I think I would have survived. But I don't know for sure. And, yeah, subscribe if you haven't. The next game, I think, will be, crap, what is the name of that game? Let me look it up. Do I still have it installed? I do still have it installed. I actually need to uninstall it so that my progress gets reset. Pensu Hunter, back to the 90s. I did a New Day, New Game of it back a couple months ago. maybe a little bit over a month ago. I can't remember exactly. And it was funny. I thought it was really funny. It was before I had decided to. As well, I was still streaming, and it has nudity in it, So I was like, I can't stream this. um, so I just did that. I just did that New Day, New Game of it. But since I'm doing, Let's Plays again, I'll probably do that. I'll probably Let's Play it because it was funny. It cracked me up while I was playing it. And I was intrigued to play more, and I haven't played any more since then. So I think that's what I'll play next. So yeah, tune into that. And if for whatever reason, if I don't play that, there's another game called Eric the Unready that I recently got. It's a very, very funny text adventure from back in the 90s. Those two will probably be my next two Let's Plays. But in case Pansy Hunter isn't what I play next, it'll probably be Eric the Unready. If Eric the Unready, if I don't do that next, then I don't know what I'll do next. But anyway, I'm going to shut up, let you get on with your day. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next Let's Play. Probably Pansy Hunter. Hunting panties. See you in the next one, guys.